We have on the Bench Racing Hotline, Dan Beaver joins us. Hey, Dan, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Well, we're getting healthy, so it's going better than it has been. I appreciate your patience the last couple weeks. I've been kind of dragging this show down a little bit, but I think
more so than usual.
I think I'm back on the mend. I actually had an excuse the last couple weeks, but we wanted to make sure that we didn't miss this week because this is your easiest week of the year to pick the winner, right?
It is. I mean, there is no stress whatsoever where Talladega is concerned, and there's one good reason for that, because nothing matters.
So does the new car play into anything, Dan? No.
Nah. This is an existentialist dream. You just whistle your way into this track, into this race, make your picks, and fast forward to Darlington. That's about the best advice anybody. Don't take it too seriously, because at some point, at least 2 or 3 of your drivers are going to wreck.
Yep.
They're going to get some damage. The nice thing about the new car, the car of tomorrow and the Gen 6 car, is that they're pretty darn durable. And you can see some pretty mangled machinery hanging out in the draft at the front of the back. Bad side is, even that doesn't matter. They can survive, and if there are 20 cars in the lead pack, the comings and goings of the draft means that a driver can go from first to 20th or 20th to 5th in a very short period of time. So we're in games where finishing position is all that matters. This is by far the toughest race. This in Daytona, the toughest races to handicap, and you just can't let it get you down.
The one thing I kind of my doddering memory kind of brings back to me from the Daytona Speed Weeks back several months ago is that there was some prediction that maybe we would see some tandem racing at Talladega when this Gen 6 car got there, different than what it was like at Daytona. Do you get that sense at all? Do you think there'll be any of that tandem stuff that we had going on a couple years ago with the COT?
I doubt it any more than what we've seen kind of recently, which is maybe a lap and a half where they can get together before they overheat. There's just not going to be a whole lot of it. And it didn't bother me, the tandem racing. I thought eventually it might become more predictable, but it was just as unpredictable as the draft racing without the big crashes, without as many big crashes. So the more it changes, the more it stays the same. There's just these are just unpredictable races. They're meant to be entertainment. They're not necessarily meant to be contests at the same level, I think, as races on the unrestricted intermediate speedways or the short tracks. And they fit that bill. They're entertaining, but they're not predictable.
Dan, I know you said that you say it's pretty tough to predict somebody, but you're in the fantasy racing world here, so we're going to have to.
You got no choice. Yeah, you've got to predict something.
Eventually, you're going to have to predict something. But how does the dynamic of something like Denny Hamlin going to start the race and then get out? Brian Vickers is going to get in. Does that play into how you look at that 11 car at all, or is it because of the fact that they're probably not going to go a lap down anyhow? It's not really going to affect the way you look at it.
And even if they go a lap down, they're going to get a wave around, or they're going to get a free pass. And regardless of when that happens, it happens with 10 laps to go, you still can get to the front. So I think you have to handicap this from Brian Vickers' standpoint rather than Denny Hamlin, since he's going to be in the car most of the time. But you have to pick Denny Hamlin. And for something like the Yahoo game where Hamlin's a Group A driver, that's probably not a good choice. Vickers has not been on the play tracks for a while at this level. He's had some success at Talladega, but he's had more failure than he's had success. And so you're probably not going to pick Denny Hamlin knowing that Vickers is going to get the lion's share of the laps. So, yeah, it factors in. And a driver's past performance factors in. Despite the fact that these are unpredictable races, 2 drivers swept the top 10 last year. And there's one clear-cut favorite based on those numbers. Matt Kenseth finished won 2 of the plate races, finished 3rd in the other 2 plate races. But that didn't keep him from having engine problems at Daytona and finishing 37th. So you go into this, you make your best picks, and you hope for the best. But there are patterns that show up, and Kenseth is one of those patterns.
All right, we are quickly running out of time here. Give us what you like ABC-wise, seeing as you have to make these picks. That's why you get paid the big money.
Your public is relying on you whether you want it or not.
I thought I could hem and haw for 15 minutes and maybe just get this done with, but I think Kenseth's got to be a good pick in Group A, even though he struggled in Daytona. Not only does he have the streak of top 5s from last year, he spent a lot of time in the lead pack, and you get in a little less trouble in the lead pack, unless, of course, you're trying to pass Tony Stewart, than you do further back in the field. So he's Group A. Group B, I think you've got Jeff Burton. That is hard to overlook. Has some momentum from last week's strong run in Richmond. He swept the top 10 last year. He finished 2nd in the fall Talladega race. Also struggled at Daytona, but that doesn't mean that his luck is completely run out. Also in Group B, you got Kurt Busch. That team does well. Kurt Busch does well on play tracks. He's also coming off of a little bit of momentum from Richmond, and I think he's a solid pick in Group B, especially since not a lot of people are going to have him. So if he succeeds, if he does finish in the top 5, top 10, it's going to be a great differentiator if one of your competitors' Group B drivers wrecks. In Group C, roll the dice. You got Michael Waltrip. He was going to win this race last year until, I guess Tony Stewart didn't block. He protected his position. Until Stewart protected his position into a 20-car crash, Waltrip was going to win that race. Mears was going to finish in 2nd. And that was going to be a great showing for Group C drivers. And you got Danica Patrick with the top 10 at Daytona. She earned it. She ran with the leaders all day. She lost a few positions on the last lap, but veteran drivers do the same thing. And I think that if you really want to roll the dice, you could plan on lightning striking the same place twice and put Danica on your roster.
Well, that is something that does happen at these races, is you do get these Group C drivers that pop up and have top finishes. David Gilliland's done it before. David Reagan's been up front. Who knows? Yeah, Michael McDowell.
In Daytona.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? So, okay, well, Dan, I feel for you this week. But you got to make a pick for who's going to win. Who do you think is going to win this thing?
I'm going to Danica Patrick.
Really?
Just roll the dice. No pain, no gain, no risk, no reward. Patrick wins.
Now, do you have her in the NASCAR.com game?
I've got her on a couple of teams. She's a good salary cap play there because she's so cheap. So, and if she qualifies badly, then or mid pack, she's definitely a good driver for the NASCAR Fantasy Live game.
I think we have a new drop.
Have a new drop?
Yeah.
What's that?
To use for later. She's cheap. Dan Beaver says Danica Patrick is cheap.
There we go. That's a quote. That'll be up tonight. I'm tweeted all over. Hashtag Danica's cheap. Beaver says Danica's cheap. How's that? All right.
There we go.
All right. Hey, Dan, thanks again for your time this week. Dan, of course, is the director of NASCAR Fantasy for NASCAR.com and writes also fantasy advice for Yahoo Sports and is our resident expert every week here on Pit Row. Dan, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, and good luck.
All right.
All right, take care.